What is up guys, it's Sky, and this is another dogfighting tutorial video. And this is something I used to do a lot of and I got away from, but I'm going to get back into it. And what's awesome about dogfighting is that everyone's unique. There's a few basic tenets that I follow, but you have to be able to react and use the right strategy for the right situation. And this is one of the biggest keys. Remember that your evasive maneuver and your shields are both forms of damage mitigation, and you want to rotate them. Here I use a defensive maneuver to avoid damage during that head-on. And it's real tempting to burn your shield, but I save it, because I know I'm engaging a 2v1. I wait a couple seconds to engage my shields, and by doing that, by the time my shields were off, my defensive maneuvers off cooldown. I get a really advantageous angle here, and that's a result of me changing my elevation after passing it head on. I cut into his move from above, and at that point it's about controlling distance and keeping him in my field of view. I see out of the corner of my eye that there's a second TIE fighter, and I just react and burn my defensive maneuver. Even though you'll see that I didn't really need to. But had he been facing me, I would have been able to avoid damage there. And if you look to the left here, you'll see that another TIE fighter spawned in. And that's something you have to be able to do as a dogfighter. You need to be able to take your attention off what's immediately in front of you and direct it to your surroundings and your minimap. And even though I'm tailing this guy, I pop my shields, because I know the other guy is going to try to engage me. Here I dive to the ground. I know exactly where he is because of my minimap, but I dive to the ground. That'll keep him guessing in case he's on my tail. But that ends up being a pretty easy kill. And here I dodge what I think is a ground lock. And if you watch my X-Wing no damage run video, you'll see that there's a million ways to dodge ground locks. And every situation is going to be unique. And it's never 100%. I will say this though, avoid dogfighting in the middle of the map. Especially as the Imperials. If you can corral your opponent to the edge of the map, then that's always the best play. Because it's hard enough dodging 2v1s, and then you have to worry about dodging ground locks too. And here I cut to some strafing on the AT-AT, and the X-Wing has some shaky aim when you're strafing. It actually helps to jump into that first person view to mitigate some of that shaky aim. And you'll see here a couple TIE fighters spawn in during the bombing run, and that's real smart to do, but don't panic and start pursuing them right away. Get in a good strafe, wait till you get in close quarters, then engage the dogfight. And here's a move that the X-Wing is particularly good at. Passing head on, pull up, pull down, turn around. The key with the X-Wing is keep turning. It's not very fast, but it can turn on a dime. And the TIE fighter is actually pretty nimble too, and in this matchup, you want to keep turning. You try to fly in a straight line for too long, and they're going to be on your tail quick. And you see how I go right back to strafing the AT-AT. Clear this guy's out, strafe. I actually ended up getting the heavy damage to AT-AT award before the end of the first phase. And you see here, I strafe the AT-AT, but I'm constantly watching the spawn so that I can react as soon as they spawn in. I use my defensive maneuver to break his lock there, and then I'm just watching the minimap. I'm following him, changing my elevation, and I don't see him locking me, so he has no idea where I am. I'll just dive to the ground, and then from there, all I have to do is look up. But I noticed that a second TIE fighter just spawned in on the minimap. And remember what I said earlier about rotating your shield and your defensive maneuver. I got my shield off cooldown, so I can use it to stay up in case they're both looking at me. But this guy doesn't have very good awareness, so this ends up being a pretty easy win, and it looks like I got a wingman spawning in to help me out. So right back to strafing the AT-AT. And interestingly enough, in this game I got MVP, so that's a pilot playing the objective. Thanks guys, catch you later.